My name is Ruth Harcourt Ashano, and I am a makeup artist and a special effect artist. Special effects is it's wild, it's beyond gore. It has to do with, for example, if you're on a set, you change the features of a character to suit the story. So even as aging, tooth decay, beards, hairs, then before you go into the gore, everything is on the special effects. I have been a special effects professionally for 4 years. I started as a special effects out of boredom for beauty makeup artists, like the beauty part of makeup. I just got tired of it because there was nothing challenging about it. And then somehow I want to always believe that it was God that directed me to special effect makeup, because first off, I didn't even know it was called special effects to start with. That's the honest truth.
What do you think it was called?
So I didn't even know. I didn't have an idea, I didn't even have an idea of what special effects, like the name. So somehow, a friend of mine got products from the abroad. And because I did not know anything about these things, she got products and she realized that they were not makeup products. Where we used to work, we were colleagues. Then she now told me that, I mentioned something about doing the other side of makeup. I did not know. I always called it the other side of makeup. So aging and all of those things, they were very alien to me. I said, yeah, that's true. Then she said there was a misbuying of products if I would want to buy it off her. Then I said, okay, fine. Then I bought it off her out of curiosity. Then I saw the products for the first time in my life. Then I started to study them. Every special effect that I did, like I'll go online. One of the first people that inspired me to want to do this special effect thing when I started my journey to want to know about it is really go. Then if she does a special effects, I look at it, there are not much details because nobody really tells you from 1 to 100 exactly how they did it. They just bits and bits, so you figure it out yourself. So she would do some special effects, then I'll pick 1 out of the 5 difficult special effects she has done, and I replicate one. I replicated it, and there was no error, like it was perfect, like a professional did it. So I was excited.
It's not on the first trial.
Exactly, all my first trials were just perfect. I would take my time to do it, I'm not taking out that part. I could do it for like an hour, 2 hours, but I will do it well. And I'll be so excited, the excitement of getting it right, and I will post it on my social media handle. No, I don't think there's no exact relationship with the two. I think the only common term with the two of them is blending. For beauty makeup, they're big on blending. In fact, for you to, if you want to say you're good with makeup as a whole, you should be good with blending the matching the skin tone with the foundation, blending whatever your contour and your highlight. Same thing goes for special effects. You should be good with blending, so whatever material you're using should blend into your skin, that there won't be a difference. Like nobody can tell at what point you stopped applying that product. For example, if I want to do a gunshot wound, I'll make sure it blends with my skin, that it's only the hole that you will see. I think the challenge for me, I'll speak for myself, is access to resources. So because Nigeria is not so high on, for example, you could walk into an SFX store abroad. You don't have that luxury here in Nigeria. I think we just have one SFX store in Nigeria, just one in Nigeria. And the crazy thing is, when she's out of stock, we are stuck. And the people that you look up to do things from are these white guys, and they have access to things. They can just walk into any proper supermarket and they have sections for special effects products, and you just go or then pick it up and go and do your thing. Like beyond we don't have resources, we will still go and make something happen. And that's the part that, okay, if you now put yourself in a position where you have access to things, you know that you do better. DIYs that we can easily make, for example, is blood. To buy a blood from a proper SFX store, that's the already made blood, is pretty much expensive, and it's not even out there. Before you know, the only store we have that has it in Nigeria is out of stock. So you have to learn to make it, and you will need blood as a special effect artist on set. So you learn to make it, and because out of the desire to make sure that the blood looks like actual blood, you have to go the extra mile to get the exact consistency you want for the exact situation. Now, what I mean is, if this person, if it is a day-old blood, I mean, if you cut yourself or somebody was cut and you know the blood will be dry, sticky, you have to make that kind of consistency. If they just cut the person now, it's fresh and more juicy, sorry. So you have to make that kind of consistency. I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. The blood that comes from the vein is different from the one that will come from if you cut your flesh. I'm a major sucker for learn more, learn all the angles, learn everything you can. It's not just about the doing. You need head knowledge too, and studying the human anatomy is part of it. So I did biology in school and I can't remember what an amoeba shape looks like, but after I stumbled on special effects, I had to take myself back to school somehow. So you don't have to go on a full-on going to school, but you have a production, and they say they slit the person from the throat. If I slit you from the throat, the blood will sprout out because you have your biggest veins in your neck. The biggest veins in the body are in the neck. So I should expect the blood to squid out. Do you understand? It's not like those going to come out, it will squid out because it's the veins you cut. Especially if you cut through the veins. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Now, if I hit you on the head, with what intensity, with what material, I need to find out how much blood will come out. Moreover, our head bleeds the most. But with what material? I mean, if you just hit me with your hand, I don't expect you to be bleeding. That's the mistake some people do. So some people will just hit them, maybe they hit the edge of a chair or something, then you just see blood coming as if they've shot the person. You're like, okay, where is it coming from? So there should be an explanation. So I go as far as trying to make sure I have an explanation for each wound. Sometimes our writers are very ambitious, so they write that he hit his head on the wall and he was in a pool of blood. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So is it the edge of the wall? Like, is it sharp? Did it puncture the head? Is it flat? So I will try to, and sometimes when it is beyond my knowledge, I call medical professionals that this is their field. Do you understand? And I ask questions just so that I get it right. It can't be perfect, but it can be near perfect. Yeah, medicine, is part of it. Like I said, special effect is not just gore. It's not just blood. It's not just blood work. Aging, beard work. So you have to be versatile to be a special effect artist. We were on a film set and the character is a junkie. He smokes, he takes cocaine and all of those. And if you're a junkie that injects yourself and you do all of this, first things first, you have a terrible dentition. Your lips will be chapped, or you have discoloration. Somehow you don't look good. Do you understand? They inject themselves, so there are injection marks. If you do it on a regular, you would have injection marks. So these are tiny details. So I had to make sure that I got injection marks on his vein. The big screen did not, it was in cinema, but the big screen did not see that. But I did not miss out that information. I didn't miss out that detail for that character. It was there. Okay, my first movie as a special.
That's how you got the movie.
Okay, my first job. Let me not put the movie. My first job as a special effect artist was an African Magic series, African Magic Ajoche. So I got the job to be on that. I got the link to be on that job by God still. So I did a special effect where I sew my hand and posted it, and somebody reposted it on her page. Happens to be that it is Lola Maja that reposted it, and she's somebody that a lot of special effect artists you look up to. And I think after about a month or two, somebody reached out to me. Hi Ruth, please send me a DM, and I sent the person a DM, and the person just said, I won't be on set for so period of time. Please, can you come and cover up for me? That was the first time I was a special effect on set. Don't even be sick. And God, was I scared? I was scared. Did I cry? I cried. I'm not even, see, you don't even want to know. I was on the bus to the place I was going, to the location. I was crying. I was like, God. And why was I crying? Because I don't like to mess things up. In fact, I never want to not do anything right. I never want to mess things up. So that was how scared I was. I just started praying, and that was it. And I did it afraid. So I can tell you, I entered this industry afraid. I didn't know anybody. Let me tell you, I did not have any godfather, godmother, cousin, long relative. Yeah, what I did on the set of Ajoche, I like I said, I stood in for the assistant SFX person because she wasn't going to be around for a time. The first time I saw them fix hair, beards, I'd not practically done this before, and I didn't know that was also part of special effects. So I watched, and I'm a very fast learner. I saw the way they were sticking it. In fact, for somebody I've not done it before, I was like, why is it chunky? I didn't say anything because so
you don't know more than your
do you understand? But I didn't say anything. But she was telling me, so this is how you do it for the year. This is how we used to do it here. I didn't say anything. So when it was my time to do it, I did it how I felt should be done. I've never done it before, but I perceived it differently. Because after I did that, I never assisted anybody again. I stood as a HOD. I was called on a job for a film that was going to the cinema the next year, because after the job was done in November, like completed in November, and I was supposed to be on set January. And that was my first time to do a cinema job and to do it at that capacity. Do you understand? I didn't understand what it means to budget. I didn't understand even how to really break down a script with the characters in it. So I didn't understand so many things. So I learned on the job. There's sometimes that the director called me, and to be honest, I'm grateful for that director. Asof Oluseyi Amuwa. Yes, he called me. I was like, what's wrong with me? Like he really like scolded me, but only if he knew that. And I'm this kind of person, if I know I'm doing something wrong and you talk to me about it, I never get angry on it. I learn instead from it and restructure myself, reset myself, like give myself sense. So I knew he was not wrong, and I went back and I gave myself sharp sense, and I learned on the work and I was better for it. Okay, I'm just dabbing it on the skin roughly. Yeah, I'm just dabbing it roughly on the skin.
So how long is this person contain?
It will dry in like 30 seconds, 1 minute. So I'm layering it. This is like the first layer. That's because I want the bruise to be thicker.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm going in again because the first layer has dried out. I'm just brushing through the edges to make sure that it's smooth in the edges too. No, I don't think anything's going to stop me from doing this anytime soon, because first off, I quit my 9-to-5 job, I think, is it 2018 or so, and since then I've been good for it. I've been paying my bills. So the alternative thing, you say, this thing is not paying me, I'm just doing it out of passion, so I want to get another job. That option is not there. So it's paying me enough for me to.
So you
yeah.
tell me that story that you left your 9-to-5 job. Tell us that story.
I left my 9-to-5 job because it was getting in the way of filmmaking for me, because I would leave work sometimes and go on set. When I come back, I'm called for another job and I can't go. Like, and that's not so good if you want to grow in the industry, for you to be declining job and you have not even gotten to a certain, you've not gotten to a certain level where you're declining jobs.
So would you say leaving your 9-to-5 is one of the risks you've ever taken for this job?
Yes, it was one of the boldest and fiercest thing I ever did in my life. Yes, leaving my job that felt like comfort and how will I say, felt like a security. I had a means of income for something as filmmaking that never tells you, or never, you may never have a job for the next 2 months. And actually when you're just starting out, it's scary. But I left it, and you know what, and I actually challenged God to it, that you brought me here, you made me start this thing, so if I just die because I'm hungry, it's fine, I'll come and meet you. So yeah.
Okay.
So it's drying out. So I want to just use. Okay. So I'm just peeling off with my hands. Because it has dried out. I'm just peeling off.
So this was what we were waiting for it to dry out?
Yes, before I now start coloring. So when I do this, so as much as the bruise you want, so as much as you get, as much as you do. So now I leave this smaller part because I like these little details. It does it for me. So yeah, so it now looks as if she bruised. So now we'll go into the coloring. So I'm mixing a darker color with red. There's actually a normal bruise wheel if you want, but I mean, like I said, we have to improvise most times. I'm
so
telling you.
You guys improvise like 70% of the time, 80%?
Not exactly. I mean, but things like this you can easily improvise because they are colors. These ones are colors. You can improvise. So now I'm trying to give the wound texture. Yeah, so I'm just trying to color the wound as much as I want. So now it's preference, and if you have an eye for it, so there's no measurement for the coloring. If you have an eye for wound and the kind of wound you are going for, so like I said, this is like she had a bruise. You can also say it's a burn if you leave it dry like this. Can be like a second degree kind of burn, but like I said, I'm going for a bruise, so I have to achieve a bruise however way. Exactly. Yeah, so the end game is trying to achieve a bruise, and bruises are usually fresh. Yes, but I'm still trying to color in so that I can get a blend. There's no disparity. And if you have a bruise like this where you scratch, you will still have irritated edges. So I'm sparingly putting it because you have irritated. Like I said, the major English with makeup and SFX is blending. Exactly, that's the relationship they have. So she's a fair skinned person, so she will have irritations, obvious irritations that are close to her wound, so that the wound doesn't stand out. Then I'll go in with my blood paste. So this one gives it like this is called a blood paste. Sorry, my fingernails are in the way. You don't want me to be great, so I'm going in with the blood paste to give it another texture. So you will see it as I do it, like you will see the texture for yourself. It gives it a fresh feel. It gives it more of a wound feel. So I'm going with, these open places are the wound. They are more of the skin. They are like, that's where the skin is, so you should see more of. But what I'm doing basically is bringing this wound alive. Yes, I'm just bringing the wound alive basically. This is called thick blood. Every blood has a name. This is thick blood, this is blood paste. Yeah, by just applying this, I just want it to look fresher. So it depends on if it just happened now or it happened a couple of minutes ago. Do you understand? And like, she just fell now. So if it happened minutes ago, it will be drying up. It will be drying out. All the wounds will be drying out. So I think we have our wound, and there goes your bruise. And if you want it to look like a bun, you put pale colors like yellow, green, just in a blended, like I said, blending, the more blended manner. So yes, so if you have to take this, you use oil to take it off. Yes, so that the character is not wounded. So I made sure that I have like a blend around. Sometimes when I use my camera, before the person goes on set to check. If I see that the edges don't have some irritation, I apply to have more irritation around the wound, and that's it. Yeah, if I had everything at my disposal, I'd probably physically myself stop going to sets, maybe design the looks of the characters and send my team to go. But then I am very passionate about makeup artists that don't know anything about SFX, because I've been on sets, called on sets where they have makeup artists. I don't know, maybe because of my kind of person, I don't like it when I'm in a space and they call somebody to come and do a job that I could have done. So it makes me feel like I'm going there to, belittle the person in charge of makeup. That's just how I feel. So I don't know if it's a right thinking, but I just don't like to come into a space when there's already somebody there. I feel that somebody there should be able to handle it. Now, the challenges of most makeup artists is they can't even do gunshot wounds, they can't do any of this. They don't even know where to get the materials from. Now, if the resources are available, there are prosthetics gunshot wounds, prosthetics cut wounds, different. So all they have to do is buy this material, buy the prosthetics and stick it, blend it and put the blood. That way it's easy life for anybody.
Preset. But me, I would argue that fact based on it is cheaper that way. It doesn't make you learn, it doesn't make you do DIY, it does not give you the room to explore. Because if you have everything already made, like the gunshot, the this, things like this, then you just have to paste, then just blend. It doesn't give you that room to go extra mile, to combine colors, to do this like yourself from scratch.
So now, out of 100 people that will buy that prosthetics, I can tell you categorically that 10 people will want to know how you did it. And you have drawn 10 people to be interested in the business of special effects. They want to know, they're intrigued, how did you do it? Come and teach me.
Okay, what if
instead of buying it?
Okay, so what if you rely solely in buying rather than doing it yourself? These are two different things now. Someone like me, I just go to the market, buy it, stick it, then just blend it. And somebody like you who doesn't like buying, you do everything from point A to point Z. Don't you think there's like a difference between these two guys?
So the truth is, there will always be difference in any industry. There are people that know it better than others. There will be those that push themselves to be better than others. Some people are just lazy workers. They can't help it. There are people that are just lazy at what they are doing. They can't just help it. As much as they try, they can't help it. So that is the same thing in every industry. You still find those people that want to be better at it. You still find people that will be interested in it, and they will also gain confidence in their self. I mean, when they're on set and they say do gunshots wound, they will not say I don't know how to do it. Do you understand? They can just, I have it, don't worry, I have it covered, and they will just do it, and that's easy peasy. Because there's some productions that is not so heavy or special effect, maybe just cuts, maybe just bruise, maybe it's just, and they can buy it. I tell you, a lot of people will opt for that option. Do you understand? Yeah, most of them are edible. In fact, anyone that you have to use in your mouth is edible. Blood and all of those, they make it friendly, that it's not harmful to you. Yes, that's why I prefer to buy the refined ones than doing the homemade ones, because the homemade ones can actually harm you. You don't know the agent you're adding that you shouldn't add, that will just affect or harm you basically. So yeah, if I have to do the makeup on a darker skin person, I go with a darker tone. So the darker tones I go with, the darker colors I would infuse. Dark colors are blue, dark blue, black. Those are dark colors. I mean, if I'm doing it on a very light person, I'll go with the lighter colors, like in the color palettes of red, orange, and all of those, and blend it to look like what it should look like. as much as we want to do for me personally, I feel like the dream should be where you are successful, you've achieved anything that can be achieved, you are a name, like a name to be reckoned with in the industry. I mean, I think you've gotten there. It's fulfilling when you become a household name. I mean, I want to be able to have people that I can call that they stemmed from me, you know, they came out from me and they are good, they are not mediocres in what they are doing. You know, I can just point out at so many people that came out from me and, you know, they are excelling in special effects. That's really fulfilling.